Welcome to The Social Life. I'm Deanna Miller, your fabulously wonderful host who's here all the time every Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah. This is The Social Life Podcast. If you have not yet subscribed, please go to thesociallifepodcast.com and do so. We're all over the place. With me, as always,
She always says it the same way.
is that guy.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
The creative director, Nathan Imhoff.
I'm here.
So we're here today to talk about more awesome social media stuff. This is a podcast that is basically just revolves around marketing of all kinds: social, digital, web design, graphic design,
Wait.
SEO.
Where's Larry?
Oh,
Larry's not going to come?
no.
You told me Larry was going to come.
I just told you that to get you here.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
All right.
Anyway.
I miss you, Larry.
So if you missed our most recent episodes, we did a couple back-to-back episodes talking about Yelp, common mistakes, yada, yada, things like that.
Yep.
So go check those out. Yelp is a necessary evil for those of us that manage and maintain small businesses that provide services. So if you've got a hankering to learn more about what's going on with Yelp and get some good tips from a former elite Yelper, check those out.
Very informative.
It was fun.
His stories were hilarious. I like
Yeah. I think it's probably the most I've not had to talk. So it was cool.
The Greek guy that sends the
the guy with the lamb.
Yeah.
Is like,
I'm
going to hunt you
I'm
down.
gonna fake sue you.
I'm gonna fake sue you with my fake sue you letter.
Is this lamb or is this gum? I mean, you said it was really chewy.
Well, we're not talking about Yelp again today.
All right, no more Yelp.
We're talking today about Twitter and Twitter. Anyway, so we're talking about Twitter today because it's been in the news a lot over the last couple months. They have had some serious issues with staff changes. New CEO got brought on. Their stocks crashed. And people were freaking out. Is Twitter going away? Is Twitter never, ever, ever going to happen again? And then we got an announcement that said no, but we're playing around with some new changes and updates. And some of the stuff that we're going to talk about in the second half of the show is actually really positive for businesses. But I kind of wanted to talk about the one thing in the news that I think a lot of people were messaging me about and freaking out. And that is Twitter going to introduce an algorithm?
I'm against it.
I would like to say, please, for the love of God, no. It would not be just like Facebook's algorithm, though. So that is thank goodness for that. So for those of you that are on the Twitter regularly.
The Twitter.
I like to call it the Facebook. I like to call it the Twitter. I found this really great informative article on The Verge. And it breaks it down, and they actually have some really good information. But I wanted to just run through it because the initial reaction was, holy cow, it's going to be like Facebook's where my stuff is not going to be seen anymore. And what am I going to do? And oh, holy cow. So that's really, really not what they're introducing. It's not going to be like Facebook's. It's going to be very similar to the current while you were away. So what it's going to do, Twitter introduced about a year ago this while you are away feature. So when you're on the app, when you're on the web browser in the native applications, Twitter produces this while you were away. And what it does is it shows you anywhere between like 2 to 5 tweets of things that you missed that are popular in your feed,
right.
So, of people you follow. And that I actually enjoy.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah.
You like it.
If it's got a lot of retweets and stuff and
right.
a lot of interactions and
right. What was cool was the other day, actually, I was managing a client's Twitter account and one of ours popped up while you were away.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was like, hey, yeah, check that out. People retweeting the podcast tweet. Hello. But so we're on Twitter at Stark Social, by the way. But so here's what I've learned from this article is they're beta testing it right now, and there could potentially be an opt-out. So very similar to like when they started introducing a bunch of other different things. Like there could be a potential where you can just when we first saw the Twitter, it was you could had the option to see the entire stream of all users on Twitter, and then you had the option to go to like your lists, so
Right.
people you follow, and they've continued to update and change that and make it different. So now when you get into Twitter, all you see is initially you see the people you follow, and then you have to go to search to see all the other things. So it seems to me like they're playing around with trying to find a way to bring those two types of things together. So you're seeing things of people that you may not necessarily have seen before. So it looks to me like they're trying to play around with an exposure type of algorithm tool type of thing. So I think what that's going to be is it's just going to be this expanded version of that while you were away. So it's going to show you the top tweets or the top things that you may or may not be interested in seeing.
Well, let's hopefully they launch it and it doesn't mess up the nuances and culture of Twitter.
Right.
That's what concerns me. I mean, they say you can opt out. It's probably, I mean, like if you follow some hashtags, they sort of already have had this technology, because you get some really stupid tweets from knuckleheads, knuckle draggers. Like if you follow a game, it's like a bunch of profanity and like a football game or a sports game. When you follow that hashtag, you get like a bunch of idiots.
Right.
So they've started to do that where you get the more intelligent one, like the analysts and the stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I think the reason that I like Twitter so much for businesses just in general and even just for fun, because that's how we all started out on Twitter, was for fun.
Twitter.
I think the reason I like it so much is that there's so many different options. I mean, with Facebook, you have the most recent, and then you've got like top posts.
Right.
And then with Twitter, you can go to all of your followers. You can create, saved searches that you can use, hashtags for. You can create lists. So you can go like, here's all the people I follow during a Packers game, so I'm just going to look at those people.
Right.
Or it's like, I have a list of bloggers, so I want to see what they're up to, what they're doing. So I think I love the current versatility of Twitter, so I hope they don't take too much of that away with introducing this potential algorithm. Because I think that the native Twitter right now...
Well, I think that the motive is to kind of drown out, so you're not wasting your time on idiots, but also you can pay to boost, basically.
Yeah, you can do that now.
You can pay to boost?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us today. We taught Nate something. Yay!
I learned.
No, they've actually, you have to have a certain amount of interactions and things like that to be able to pay for stuff on Twitter. But I think the big thing I think a lot of people were freaking out about is like, I'm not going to be able to see stuff. It's all going to be sponsored posts. It's all going to be this and that. And I don't want to just see ads. So I think it's safe to say that this adaptation to Twitter could potentially be something good. So, I try and enter into everything, even with the algorithm changes over at Facebook, which, God, they change that so often.
Daily.
It's like ridiculous. But I honestly, I encourage everybody to look at the Twitter changes as this could be a growth of something really cool. Like I remember when they introduced lists and it was like, what is that? It's more stuff I have to do. And then like lists is just something that I think is fantastic and awesome. So I don't think that this algorithm feed is going to keep people from seeing what they want. But I think if it's done properly and it works well, then like Nate said, it will eventually end up giving us, tweets that we want to see.
Right.
That we may have missed like 4 hours ago.
Right.
Well,
or lists. I know lists were something. Algorithm is on Facebook was basically designed to, like I said, drowned out the knuckleheads. The list was sort of the same thing, where maybe you follow a bunch of people, but you can now segment, like we did, like you were talking about earlier. So.
Yeah. No, I think that's what I use it for. You know, those lists.
My favorite list is all Packer players.
I have one that I for my personal Twitter that I call like my peeps,
Ma
peeps, and that's where I go to see all the people that I actually interact with on a regular basis, like my friends and.
Come on, some of those people you follow just to watch them melt down.
Twitter meltdowns are the best. What are you talking about?
They're not actually technically peeps.
No, I have a different one for like
entertainment.
I don't even. It's a private list. Like nobody can see it or follow it, but it's
knuckleheads.
That's the other cool thing I like about lists is you can create private lists.
Yeah, private lists.
So the private lists are the bomb because I have for clients and stuff. Like I have different ones, and it's like if you're gonna make a list, I have competitors.
Yeah.
So then, like, I go to that list to see like what the competition's doing instead of having to track them down.
Yeah, Twitter's fun if you until your boss follows you, then.
That's why you block your boss. I'm following you all.
Well, I think I mean I don't know if it used to be if you blocked somebody on Twitter you couldn't see their stuff, but now it's like if you're blocked, you can still see their stuff, but you can't follow them.
If they're following a
that,
list
right?
that you've been added to, they can see your stuff.
Okay.
That's where like people get mad at Twitter.
Angry.
Because I know this because I was like, why can I see this guy's stuff? I don't want to see it. And then I was like, ah. And that's how it was. And I thought
how was that?
Ah.
That was the sound.
That's exactly the sound. And it translates very well to Twitter. But no, somebody told me that there's like complications with lists and stuff like that. So be careful, people. Anyway, so don't be scared of changes that are coming to Twitter. I don't think that Twitter is going away. I think that was one of the biggest questions I got this last couple weeks in the Facebook group that we run for clients is that Twitter's not going to go away. It's not going anywhere. I think they're in a transitional phase, and I think that things are going to continue to change and be awesome. But I think that we just have to roll with the punches. They've got somebody new at the helm. They have some new people who are working in development. And I think there's going to be some really cool stuff that's going to come out of the beta testing that they're doing on certain things. So if you do have questions about the Twitter and you want to chat more about the changes, I'm happy to do that. So you can always email me, hello@starksocial.com.
Well, I think they're smart enough to actually let you opt out. So
yeah, no, I think that's what they're going to end up having to do.
They should really allow it to be what, like different levels of the algorithm would be good. Like maybe I just want a certain percentage. I don't know what you would call it. Or,
well, like right now you can uncheck a box or check a box so you don't see ads.
Who wants to see ads?
Well, I like to see some of the sponsored posts.
Right. Well, this is what we do, though.
Right.
So.
I like to see the sponsored posts because it gives me ideas about things, what to do. So there's other really cool changes that are coming to Twitter. If you're a business, Twitter has a new customer service tool that aims to help businesses who are getting ranted at. Yeah.
You have people that go to Yelp to take it out on your business, and then there's people that go on Yelp or Twitter and
Twitter. So when I first started managing social media for, I think it was a guy who sold raveware. Yeah, that was that. Remember that guy? It was one of my very first.
No comment.
Yeah, it was he had a Twitter handle, and I took over managing his Twitter and his Facebook, and I was just dipping my toes in these social media management waters, if you will. And I had taken all these classes, and I was super prepared, and I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. And then I realized that he had very poor customer service. And it was horrifying that he basically would go onto social media or reply to people from his website and say, like, you're an idiot. I don't know what you think you're trying to do, what you think you're trying to pull, and he would publicly tweet this at people, and it was hilarious. So as I started to take over this Twitter profile, I was starting to realize his initial concerns were, I don't know why people don't follow me on Twitter. I don't know why people don't like me on Twitter. So it was a customer service nightmare. And I honestly, it was the funniest thing. So we're going to talk a little bit more about customer service on Twitter, how you can utilize this customer service tool. We're going to talk more about what I learned from working with that client. I don't work with him anymore, but I wish him all the best.
I tweet punch people in the throat. Why won't they follow me?
It's been years since I've worked with him, but I learned a lot working with him about customer service, and I'm really excited to talk more about this new customer service tool for Twitter. So you'll have to join us after the break on the Social Life podcast. As always, please take a moment while you listen to this wonderful commercial to grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine, can of beer. If you're driving, please pull over. I said can. That's right. I went hipster on you.
Hipster.
We'll be back shortly with more of The Social Life.
My parents run the best social media company around. Go to starksocial.com today.
Welcome back to The Social Life. I hope you all enjoyed your mimosas while we sit here and sip coffee. Starbucks coffee. It's fantastic.
In white cups.
Oh, this isn't.
Not red ones.
I like the red ones.
Well, it's getting close to St. Patrick's Day. It should be green.
They should be green. Let's tweet at them about it. Anyway, we're talking about Twitter today.
War on St. Patrick's Day.
Before the break, we talked about algorithms. Oh, my gosh. We talked about the new potential Twitter algorithm and changes and whether or not Twitter's going away. And I say it's not, so get over it. And then we started to talk about Twitter as a customer service tool. I know that there's a lot of brands and businesses that will utilize Twitter, like airlines use it quite frequently. Delta, actually, I think, was one of the ones that I noted that had some really good interactions for people who were trying to, change flights or had issues with delays or things of that nature. So there are a lot of businesses and brands. I know Coke and Nike are using it to interact with, Twitter users and potential clients to answer questions about their different products and things like that, or different events that they're hosting. So Twitter is a great tool in and of itself for customer service. A lot of times what brands will shy away from because of a lot of the backlash that can happen with the screen grab and post it on BuzzFeed, they try to avoid interacting with angry clients. Yeah. Angry. And what I was talking about before the break was my very, very first all by myself, solo social media managing client was a very angry man who had a really awesome company. They sold rave gear. And I thought it was a fun company. I thought it was a fun thing to do. But then as I got my feet wet in his social media world, I noticed that he was using Twitter for anger. He was using it for evil and not for good.
He needed to go to a therapist and not take it to Twitter.
So he would have people who were saying, I went to your website and I ordered X, Y, and Z, and that was 2 weeks ago and I still haven't gotten my order, but I got a tracking number and the tracking number doesn't work. What do I do? And, so his response would be, why don't you call FedEx? And then the person would say, oh, okay, well, I also tried to call the 800 number on your website, but it doesn't work. And
Building confidence.
there goes.
One screw up at a time.
I think the conversation when I was looking at it went on for like an hour. And it was basically, it escalated into him calling them an idiot. Don't you know how to dial a phone? Check your effing email. All kinds of, oh, here comes the sneeze. Fight the sneeze. Okay.
She just made a really cute face.
Fought the sneeze, though, and I won. So it was, to me, it was just a nightmare to try and clean up. But I did that for a while. And one of the things that you can note is, as of yesterday, they were talking pretty heavily on the interwebs about Twitter's new customer service tool. So, yes, you can still do old school responses to your clients about your brand. But Twitter is, I got like this thing. Twitter is introducing this ability to interact with your clients and receive feedback without having to do it publicly. So it's taking advantage of the current direct message capability, which we all know and love, and it's taking it to a little bit higher level. Oh, thank you. Audio Guru brought me tissues. Thank you. Such a gentleman, Audio Guru is. So it lets you take this. So basically what it does is we'll post this digital trends article that I'm looking at, but there's this that shows you can, when you're initially responding to a client's request, it will give them options and you can say send a private message, and then you can also get your interactions rated, which I think is so cool.
That's good. Can be. Depends on how
I know.
Psycho the person is.
So we have brought Nate in here to give us the bad side of what this could potentially do.
Good cop, bad cop.
I mean, I get excited about stuff like this because I think it makes it easier for brands to react to, like we were talking about last time in Yelp, right? But you've got people who use Yelp for evil and not for good.
Yes.
And there's people who use Twitter for evil.
Yes.
And not for good.
Just there to argue with people.
So I really like it. I like it. What do you think?
The rating?
I mean, just the whole concept. Like, I think it sounds really cool.
Well, I think we're seeing an increased trend of people that explore social media to research products, research companies. If I were to go and see a company calling people, names and whatnot, like, our rave friend, I probably wouldn't want to do any business with this company. So, how they I mean, you got a bunch of people that are complaining. It's the same with Yelp. You go on Yelp, and I generally view Yelp with a grain of salt, if you will.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like, okay, I read the 5-star reviews. Are they, then read the 1-star. What are they mad about? If it's like, I did this and they told me to go pound sand, then I go, okay, probably on the company. So yeah, Twitter is going the right direction on this because social media is, as we talked about a few episodes ago, is a social media tool or a customer service tool.
Right. And I think what's on taking it to a different level is, I think if you're a large brand and you have other people that are managing your social media, you've got a team of people who are maybe the part of their job as customer service is to manage the Twitter feed or your Facebook Messenger or whatever it is that you've got that you're utilizing for customer service. It adds a layer of accountability for those people. Right. Because, what we see a lot of the time is people I love, there was like a recent one where it was somebody, I think it was like a Virgin Twitter handle, like Virgin America or I forget who it was, but they responded to Kanye West. And it was basically like, what is it? He was talking about like his new album being like the best thing since whatever, and like he's better than the Beatles and all this combined. And basically the person...
Is that where he said he's the most influential?
Yeah. So this person who was managing the Twitter handle at the time apparently did not switch from the Virgin Air Twitter handle to their own personal one. Oops. And they said, like, Kanye can go... It's a bad word. So anyway, I'm gonna skip it, but eat a you know what, and
Whoa.
and it came from the Virgin Twitter handle. So I think that
Virgin, I'm not even mad about it.
we ain't mad at you. We got it.
It would go on, a social media flub.
Yeah,
episode,
yeah,
but
totally.
not mad at you at all.
But I think it's one of those things where having a customer service tool that brands can utilize and getting them on board to utilize that would probably alleviate a lot of the stress that comes with those faux pas that occur. Like, hey, I forgot to log out or switch my Twitter. I mean, I know I did it one time where I was like, I think, gosh, I don't remember who the client was, but I think I was tweeting something like political. And the guy texted me, he's like, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. And I was like, oh, snap. I totally did it. That was years ago, though. I'm so much better at it
I'm
now.
not sure how I feel about this.
It's like,
This is not my position, lady.
Are you sure? I think it should be. But with that being said, I think if you're utilizing Twitter as a customer service tool, then you should definitely take a look at finding the best ways to manage and maintain that, whether it's getting on board with their new potential offering, or, I mean, I always encourage people that if they're going to do brand management via any social media channels, that you make sure that you have separate stuff set up. So, like, I try and just, make sure that I'm using the right Twitter account. Moving on, there's another new thing, though, that Twitter has recently released. Twitter now lets you capture and share videos in direct messages. So this is fun because this goes to, well, obviously it's fun for those of us that just use it for fun, but I think it's also fun for brands. Hello, brands.
Yes.
Businesses. We have a current client, Culinary Classrooms, located on the west side. You can go to their website and check it out. They have a lot of, Chef Eric has a lot of videos.
They're very well done.
And he's got a lot of great videos with tutorials and tips and ideas and information on how to be a better home cook. And I think that they're awesome, not just because I think he's awesome, but they are awesome. And I think this is cool. Like, if you're trying to connect with somebody follows you you're like, oh, this is so cool. You can send them a video.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like an intro video.
Yeah. Like, hi, hi, I'm Deanna from Stark Social. Thanks for following us.
Nice.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, thesociallifepodcast.com. I think that that's such a cool thing. So, I mean, I definitely recommend that what we're noticing across the board is that video was big. People started vlogging and doing things like that. And then we have had the advent of, YouTube stars and personalities and stuff all over the place. And I think what you really have to understand about video is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be professionally produced. Sometimes the tiny, like, hey, how you doing video with your webcam or your iPhone can be just as cool as something that's really well produced.
Yeah, it seems more legitimate, more real.
Natural.
That you didn't go and overly produce it. It's like having a picture that hasn't been photoshopped.
Right.
There's this debate with these celebrities using Instagram and, did they Photoshop their picture?
I think they all did.
And usually the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
So it's not as legitimate. It's basically PR.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So it feels fake.
And I think that's something to think about, though, when you're looking at video. I think that more and more people, regardless of what your business is, you can take advantage of video in a lot of different ways. If you're a real estate agent,
yeah,
that's a cool thing. If you're a restaurant, and you've got,
you can have a combo too. You can have some well-produced video and then have some less than produced videos and make it look,
Yeah, totally.
There's sort of a strategy of doing both.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think that that's really important. I think it's good to do just some on the fly ones, and then I think it's important to do some produced ones.
Right.
But I think it's really important to put together a video strategy. I always talk about strategies whenever I'm doing trainings. And you don't want to just jump into something and be like, I'm going to do like 10 videos. Okay, what are the videos going to be about? I have no idea. Let's do the videos, though. Let's all video each other with stuff. So I think that this is cool. Being able to send video through direct message. Twitter has also increased your ability to add multiple photos to a tweet. So you can actually put together several different photos in one tweet. I think that I like this video sharing concept that they're rolling out globally this last week, and then it's going to continue to roll out. So if you don't have it yet, wait for it, and you'll probably get an update. But definitely think about how you're going to incorporate small videos into your business. If you're a real estate agent, you can do like a quick like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Here's what I do. I'm amazing. Yay. Sign up with me. But what I think is cool, like if you're a restaurant or if you're, for example, like Chef Eric, if you see somebody who follows you that's like a thought leader, like one of those really cool like restaurant reviewer type people, you could do a quick personalized video with your iPhone and just be like, hey, I'd like to invite you to come to our restaurant and eat our food. Drink our beer. And have a glass of wine.
But pull over.
But pull over first. I love it. So you've helped me with some videos.
Yes.
Yes.
I have.
Yeah. So we do quick tips. We have them on the YouTube channel. So if you want some ideas of different ways that you can incorporate video, you can check out our YouTube channel. So we're Stark Social Media Agency on YouTube, and you can check those out. I really like the concept of also potentially putting together like cute little videos that are introductory, but then you can also, if you want to send something that's like a promo, like a cool promo thing, you can also, like I say GIFs. Some people say GIFs.
Either.
It's like potato.
I think it's GIF.
Is it GIF?
I always call it a GIF.
A GIF or a GIF?
GIF.
GIF makes me think of peanut butter.
Right.
I like peanut butter. And that reminds me, I'm out of peanut butter.
Well, we need to get some.
All right, we'll get peanut butter. All right, so we have talked about Twitter today. We've talked about the new algorithm. Twitter's not going away. We've talked about Twitter as a customer service tool, and also the new advent of Twitter allowing videos to be shared via direct message. So if you have questions about Twitter, and I know that a lot of people miss updates, and that always happens if you're not actively using a platform. But if you have questions about how to do something, or if you need some ideas, or you want to sit down and chit chat about what you can do to improve your social media, we have a lot of tips and tricks and ideas on our website, on our YouTube channel. You can go to thesociallifepodcast.com and subscribe to this podcast so that you can hear us all the time and you can listen to all the old ones. We're on Instagram at Stark Social, as well as on Twitter at Stark Social, and Facebook.com/StarkSocial. Spreaker. He always says Spreaker, and then I'm like, Spreaker. Yeah. Anywhere else?
Hey, they're great.
They're great. So as always, if you have questions about anything we've talked about today in the podcast, you can go ahead and email me, hello@starksocial.com. I love the emails that come in from my friends who listen to the podcast. Make sure you put podcast in the subject line, and I'll get back to you, and we'll talk more about all kinds of stuff.
If you have a peanut butter coupon, go ahead and email it to us.
Send me a peanut butter coupon or your recommendations. Tweet at me at Stark Social what you think the best peanut butter is, and I'll buy it. Join us next time where we're going to talk about Pinterest for business.
I thought Pinterest was for girls.
Pinterest isn't just for girls anymore, kids.
Okay.
It's not just for girls anymore. Thank you so much for joining us today. We talked about Twitter. We talked about peanut butter. We talked about drinking beer and wine and not driving. Drinking and driving, as always. Join us next time when we dip our toes into the Pinterest pool and talk about how businesses can better utilize Pinterest to increase traffic to their website.
Indeed.
we won't see you next time, but
Hear us next time.
you'll hear us next time on The Social Life. Bye.